Hey guys, welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. It's been quite a morning around here. Today was the foxtrotter's first day out. And oh Lord, it was an exciting adventure for sure. I've got 4 pastures down in the back, like I call it the back pasture because it's behind the barn and the groom shop. And my idea was that I would put Chance, Gracie, Maggie, Josie out there, and then I would put Velvet out here in the hay pasture. But I made 2 pens just in case Velvet wasn't going to be okay with that. As you can see, she wasn't. I'll get to that. First thing I did was I put I put Gracie and Chance out, and in pens next to each other, and went back in the barn to go get Maggie, and Chance went through the electric fence, which we kind of sort of expected. I'm sorry about the wind, you guys. It's a windy day here. Look at the Labradors. It's my peanut gallery. So anywho, Chance blew through the hot wire, and so then I put him back in and I did some hot wire training, shocking him on the nose, shocking him on the chest with the hot wire, and went back in to get Maggie. Now when he blew through the fence, I was already at the red gate, so I had to take Maggie all the way back into the barn and then put him back in the electric fence, go back in, get Maggie, and everything was fine. Well, then it was Josie's turn, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put Jose out with them because I really wanted that electric fence hits harder, and I really wanted to be able to put her out with that electric fence for the first at least day so that she learns that the electric fence hits hard. This one out here is a solar electric fence and it doesn't hit as hard. So I try to train my animals in the one that I plug in that hits harder. Anyway, put her out there, went and got Velvet, brought Velvet out here, put her out there, and Velvet was being a complete psycho. And she was fine while I was standing there, and then when I went to walk away from her, she ended up jumping over the electric fence. I've never in my life seen her jump over an electric fence. She has always been so good on fences, and she was still good on fences technically. She didn't go through it, she didn't break it, she jumped over it, just hopped over it. Like it was no big deal. And I'm like, you are 27 years old, I have never seen you jump over a fence. So anyway, I was like, okay, so I did some electric fence training on her. Ooh, Hazy's getting some discipline from Miss Daisy. And I went over and I got Josie and brought Josie over here next to Velvet. So as you can see, Velvet is all sweated up. Josie's just discovered that she's not with her friends. I think she's gonna be okay. I think she'll respect the fence. She's usually a really good girl. And they're not gonna be out for a super long time today. It's just kind of to get their giggles out. I'm gonna clean their stalls, and then they're all gonna come back in. They don't need to be eating, a lot of green grass. Be a good girl. She needs this. The girl is fatty. So her and Velvet are going to need to link up because they're the 2 that can actually get more green grass. The others, I have to limit their intake on green grass. Not Maggie. Maggie, I don't have to limit her intake, but the 2 Cushing's diabetics, I've got to be careful with how much time they spend out, and they can't have a ton of, rich food. So Velvet and Josie really need to link up and be friends, because they can be out, you know, all day, even in the spring when we have rich grass. And I really want them to be ahead of everybody else, so that they get more grass, that everything's really grazed down by the time, you know, Gracie and Chance get to it. So I'm hoping that we'll be okay. Everything's going to be like less consequence once Mr. Wonderful gets some permanent fencing up. But right now, if Josie so chooses to break out, or Velvet, then they're loose to the state of Arkansas. And I really don't like that idea. They're probably not going to go anywhere because all their friends are here, but I'd really like for them to just be good. Or I can get their stalls clean. Once they get this first day out, you know, to where all the newness is kind of done, hopefully we'll be good to go. Now we have Mr. Chance. He's in the middle here. Maggie is on his, I guess, left. Gracie's over there. The sheep are going to be following Gracie from now on. And I did this, I kind of rearranged them a little bit because I really wanted, well, I want Billie Jean to get grass first. Because we're growing her out to put in the freezer. So I really want Billie Jean, the heifer, to have first dibs on grass. Then I wanted the horses to go through, but I really wanted Gracie and Chance to not have, I wanted them to be able to go out to pasture, but I didn't want there to be a lot there to eat. And horses eat the top of grass. So therefore, I wanted to put them at the end of the horse cycle. And I wanted my horse and Josie to be at the front of that cycle. So that's why I kind of switched them around. And then of course the sheep eat the bottom grass, and they also are foragers, so they'll eat leaves, you know, they'll eat brush, things like that. So the sheep come in afterwards and clean up anything that's left. And that's kind of the idea. And then I come in, excuse me, behind the sheep and feed. And then the pasture rests for quite a while before we come back around with Billie Jean. So Rumor just came out of the barn with a carrot. She stole the carrot from the sheep pen. That's funny. Little man is visiting for the day. So I don't know if that is a good way of thinking or not. You know, I'm not sure. It's going to be a whole new dynamic having 5 horses. And the impact that they have on the pastures is going to be much, much more than what the impact that we have had recently. So we're learning. I'm going to try to keep everybody on a rotation so at least my pastures have time to heal and rest. But of course, you know, Mr. Wonderful is going to be coming and going, and so he's going to, you know, he's going to tell me when I need to just lock everybody up, take them off pasture. You know, he'll help give me insight on what he thinks is good for the pastures, and we'll just try to manage this property well together. So also, in other news, these guys were up and about this morning when I took everybody else out. And this is Matey, and Matey has not been feeling super well. So him being up is a good sign. I am going to go ahead and dose probably everybody with baking soda. but they all seem brighter this morning. Ours still is a little bit floppy-eared, but he was up and talking and calling. You know, his ears are up right now. Oh my Lord. So he is brighter, much brighter this morning. And he was up when I took all the other sheep out to pasture. He was up at the front of the pen calling, and so that is all good news. We're just keeping a real close eye on them and going ahead and dosing them with the natural remedies because it can't hurt. So, well, matey, feeling better, buddy? Yeah. You coming over to say hi, Hansel? Yeah. Well, matey was like, I was enjoying my time. I know. And the true of it is, you guys, is that what it's, you know, maybe looking like is we may just go ahead and do R first, because we don't want him to lose weight. We don't want him to, you know, be unwell. And if he doesn't snap out of this, then we probably will do him first. He's not suffering, you know, by any means. He's just not 100%, and we like our animals to be 100%. So he does seem to be brighter this morning, and you two seem to be brighter too. You guys ready to get out and have some fun? So I'll let them out and see how they're doing, you know, if they're romping around or if they're just walking, you know, if he's walking around with just a droopy head, we'll make sure we double dose him today. But these two look like they're ready to cause mischief, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them out and see. Yeah, that's a much better stance than you've had the last few days. There's the curious boy. Yeah, so let him romp around the barn. Get him some hay. All right, let's get back to work. I need to get Velvet her grain, and I need to get Billie Jean her grain as well. Here, Billie Jean. You want your snacks? Looks like you might be ready for some hay. Gravy. You girls are ridiculous. Don't get grain till tonight, though. aren't you? Swallow it. Okay. Now release the Kraken. Go ahead, boys. Weepa. Okay, now they've had their dose of baking soda, and we'll let them rummage around. Hansel went right to eating. Maddie went right to eating. And through all of this, they haven't had, you know, some of the severe signs would be like diarrhea. They haven't had diarrhea. So I think I caught whatever it was early, whether it was acidosis or enterotoxemia. I just wish R would have more of an appetite. He does eat, but he just doesn't have much of an appetite, so he's getting better, just slower than the other two. Well, that's an update on the fox trotters going out to pasture, and an update on how the lambs are doing. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm going to continue my chores, and I'll catch you on the next one. Yours truly.